the wrong way. Everybody wants to focus on everything national. And I'm not saying that we should not vote nationally, but I'm saying, do you know 10 people where you live, where you can go and knock on the doors of the people within a 5-block radius of you and talk to them about what's going on in your neighborhood? If you can't get things together in your basic neighborhood and actually know what's going on in your city, and making sure you have people on the city council and getting people to be in mayor, we have to go so much further back than we've been doing. And that's the hard work. We want instant wins, and we gotta build. We cannot match these people with money. 100%. It doesn't matter what we do. We can't match them with money. But what we can do is we can outwork them with people. And if we can get enough of our people together, we can vote them out. So when they start lying on major media and saying, you should vote for this person, we've already been talking to those people in the community, and they already know what's going on. And we already know who we're voting for, because we already picked that guy. And we already made sure that he had our issues on his agenda. I know sorry. Let me give a breather. You got anything? Because I was going to talk about a guy. I know somebody in, and Nina, I know you're running again. Mark Stevenson. He could have got you 10,000 votes. Mark Stevenson. So he lives in Ohio. He literally he got a Republican judge elected on a Black agenda. It was a Black woman. Sorry, are you talking to me, Jen?
I'm so sorry. I muted because my dog started barking. Who is Mark Stevenson?
Okay, so Mark Stevenson is a former member of ADOS LA. He's a former member of the ADOS, which used to be ADOS Assembly. They're now called NASD, which is the National Assembly American Slave Descendants. They are a national group that works together. He also has a group in he also has a group in Ohio, and I'm forgetting their name, so please forgive me. But in 2008, he also worked with the Obama campaign. So as a side thing, he works like helping like people with their actual, with their actual runs for
campaigns.
Yes, their campaigns, runs for office. Beatty was the seat that Nina ran to replace, right? The person who ran against Beatty, he ran that campaign for her. And she actually would have won the campaign if the campaign was held on the actual day that it was supposed to. But because of COVID, they pushed it back, and she was able actually to pick up those extra seats. And that's how his candidate lost. And her name is Morgan Harper, and she's actually running for Senate. There you go.
That's Morgan. We've had Morgan.
So Mark Stevenson is working with her on her political campaign. So you guys literally have everybody in your circle.
Well, we do. And speaking of other amazing candidates running for Senate, I just saw that Nina endorsed Erica Smith, which I was really happy to see. We've had Erica on. I don't know if you know, Erica's running for Senate in North Carolina.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there are several non-corporate Senate candidates, which is a huge step. You know, we don't really have any of that. We really don't.
So this is my thing, like with Nina, right? Like my team loves Nina. I like Nina. I actually was lucky enough to meet her, but I'm not sold. And let me tell you what it is though. The thing is, Nina needs wind at her back, right? So let's say Nina gets in. We need to make sure we got a whole bunch of people that can push her agenda in all states, right? So when she starts pushing the agenda, we can call our senator, our congressman, because she's running for Congress. We call our congressman and be like, hey, Nina Turner talk about this. Are you on that committee? Why aren't you backing this? Why? But again, we have to do a massive amount of organizing, and I feel like we're skipping steps. And I feel like everybody's just got to get back to the basics. And I think that's the hardest part. Like, we have to literally get back to knowing our neighbors. Yeah. Because imagine if every month you're talking to your neighbors or people within a 5-10 block, or every month you guys are having like a little town hall at the library and you're talking to each other. So every 2 years, you're not just showing up at people's door talking about election. They know you. Hey, Sam. Hey, Jen. Hey, Peter. How you been? Oh, yeah, we've been talking about this. You have to build the relationships. And I love what you guys keep talking about, mutual aid. I'm a firm believer in mutual aid. I think a lot of how we should start organizing from the base should be through mutual aid. We should start coming together in our cities, building mutual aid groups. And then from there, the political groups will spawn out. Because when everybody gets together and starts talking about what's going on in the community, there's no way that people aren't going to take the next step and start being like, we need to start organizing for a better community. That's how you find the leaders in your community. That's how you find that next person who's going to run for city council. Like, but you can't do it when you don't know anybody in your community. Like I said, we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do, because we can't just get angry and walk away, because that's what we've been doing. And the country just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
You want to hear the biggest irony, Sam? The biggest irony of it all is that, you know who was really, really big into building communities and community organizing? Do you know who? Do you know who was really big into that? It was Fred Hampton. Ironically, who was very much into bringing people together and building communities and helping poor people. Actually, it was sort of like
reparations on the 10-point plan.
I'm just saying, it's ironic to me that that was somebody who was about like building bridges and coalitions. Just saying, but
well, so this is the thing, right? When people come to the Reset Race, if you listen to the actual Reset Race podcast, like, be ready, because I'm all nice here and I'm all pleasant.
I was going to say, I was totally expecting us to get demonetized with you on. I'm a little disappointed.
No, I'm good in front of company. I'm good in front of folks. No, I'll make sure. But on the show, like, I get raw and I get really, really into what's going on and how I feel. Like I said, the John Brown leftist, I think that's a better mix, because I feel like I'm more tempered there too. But we have real discussions, and you get to see Black folks and white folks really talk about the things that are going on. And I think more people need to see that, because these conversations are happening. But when you come to Reset Race, the Reset Race show, you might get your feelings hurt, because like, I do get into your favorites, because a lot of your favorites, even though now I feel like we accomplished a lot of our goals with the Reset Race show, because when we started, there was a lot of your favorites who were talking very reckless and poisoning the well against Black Americans. And that was our issue. Most of them have stopped now. We only have one group left to get, and that's going to be in this new season. So, but bear with me, because the funny thing is, I have people who watch me who still like their favorites, and they're just like, my favorite could be a little bit better. My goal is not to get all of your favorites out of here. There's a couple people who can go, but most of them, I used to watch all of them too. I used to like their shows, and every time they would talk about me, I feel like they slapped me in the face. I would just like to be able to enjoy watching their content too, just like you.
Right.
We just want to be included. Like, we are Americans. We are older Americans than a lot of people. Like, we have been here from the beginning, and we just want to be treated as Americans, and we want the same consideration, right? Like, the Native Americans, we still need to do more for the Native Americans in the way of honoring their treaties and stuff like that. But there has been attempts made at least to do something for them, right? Japanese folks, we paid them, the ones who were interned. Yes, Reset Race is on YouTube. See, I'm too distracted. I can't.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. I was going to answer. Yes, Blue Bandit. I found it. It is on YouTube, but it isn't. You don't get to really watch them talking so much. It's but it's very cool visuals, and there's some of it's really kind of trippy looking, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, the John Brown leftist, that's where you get to see everybody. Like, for us, I guess so the thing is, you have to understand, a lot of us on the show, like, nobody really wants to be famous or known. Like, our goal is literally to do what we're doing right now. Like, we're having conversations, we're getting our arguments out there. People are understanding why we're fighting for what we're fighting for. And like, my thing is, we need a major overhaul and change in this country. Like, we need the New Deal without the racism. So if we could get everybody to come together and be like, okay, we're going to do the New Deal without the racism, and we're going to fix Black Americans and give them their reparations, like, we could really build something going forward. The reason why things are this bad is because they use race against so people are like, it's not race, it's class. So class is here, and then they created Black as an underclass under the poor whites. It was the point of poor whites was to become a buffer class, so we would no longer keep fighting the oligarchy for our money and for everything that, like, even with Bacon's Rebellion, which is complicated because we know why he got mad in the first place, which had to do with dispossessing Native Americans of their land. But for a whole year, they fought the oligarchy, Blacks and whites, slaves, indentured servants, and they were like, oh, no, we can't do this ever again. They can never come together. And you look at the labor movement too, you'll see, like, they would use Black folks as strike breakers, and then Black folks would come together and be like, okay, we're not going to do this. They'd be like, great. And then they would be like, oh, we got everything we wanted, we're getting rid of y'all. Like, And then here we go again, right? It's just the peeling off. We have to come together. We just have to come together and fight together, else it's a loss. But the thing is, people need to understand that Black Americans will no longer join coalitions with you if you're not including our issues in your coalition, because we're American too. And like I said, we know how to fight. We've been fighting our entire existence in this country. Y'all might as well get with people who've been fighting forever. This is what we do.
Yeah. I just think reparations is a necessary thing that has to happen, and it's independent of all of the other issues that we talk about. Too. It really is. It's its whole own thing. And it's something that it's a blight. Like, I feel like it's this blight on all of us that we're just, I mean, we're living under this dark cloud of our history that is not going to go away on its own. And that's the thing, and it's very kind of karmic for me in a way.
That's part of the reason why so many people don't want to talk about critical race theory, because they don't want to face their past.
Well, I resent that term, critical race theory, because in the context of it's being used,
it's wrong.
Right. Exactly. The context that they're saying what it is they're just talking about history.
Aren't you like a lawyer or something, Jen?
I am.
So you know that critical race theory is literally like a law thing. So when people start talking about history, you're like, no, critical race theory is not American history. Sorry, go ahead.
I said on our show, I said the only thing I know about critical race theory, the only kind of class you would take on that would be like at a PhD level. And yeah, I could see having that as a class, but it isn't what they're talking about. What they're talking about is just, history.
Exactly.
And they just don't like it. It's very inconvenient for them. And they don't like it when their feelings get hurt. The white people are very scared.
Well, I want to push it further, Jen, right? So I said this on the John Brown Leftist. It's even more than that. When you look at those old lynching photos and you see people smiling and crouching in, a lot of those folks are still alive. There's no statutes on murder. So if we actually start picking up and doing what the Jewish community has done with dealing with the people who were former Nazis and everything else, there's going to be a lot of 80, 90, 100-year-old people sitting on trial. I think that's part of the reason too. No, a lot of people don't want to lock up Meemaw.
Yeah. Have you been to, I actually went to the museum in Montgomery.
I haven't been yet. I've seen the videos from it's gorgeous.
It's amazing. It's hard to say that it's beautiful because it's very bittersweet.
It's tragic, but
it's
nice but for me, it's just good to see. It's good to see the representation so people can understand.
And people really should go there. People should really go there. I took my son there, my younger, when we were trying to escape a hurricane. I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to go check this out. It opened like last year. Let's go. I'm going to go see it. Montgomery is extremely somber. The town of Montgomery to me is so blighted with this past. The entire city exists as a slave trade in between New Orleans and Atlanta. And basically their industry was slave trade. So their warehouses were built to house people. And so you're talking about, and their little town square was the slave trading block. So it's like, it didn't exist for any other reason. And so there's this real darkness there, but the memorial and the museum are amazing. And the way that they really do give detail to every single person in the counties that was lynched, which mostly were nameless, faceless people. Otherwise it would like 3 Negroes were lynched or whatever it would say in the paper. And so it was very touching, but I honestly could not get out of Montgomery fast enough. Like, it just had this it felt like when I've been to Israel, and there is a museum, the Holocaust Museum there is called Yad Vashem, and it's the largest Holocaust memorial in the world, but it's heavy, right? Like, and this Montgomery, Alabama felt like that to me. And just very dark, but yet I would encourage people to do it, just like I would encourage people to go, to the Holocaust Museum or, wherever, but that's what it felt like. And the fact that they built the museum in the warehouse, one of the warehouses, it was harsh, and I think in a good way, I think it needs to be, but I highly recommend it if you ever have the opportunity. Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description.
Peace out.